Hey, it's Sidney, and today I want to talk about your emotions, your perspective on reality, and how contagious that can be. The way you view the world and the way you are in your everyday life is something that is immensely powerful and influential. Have you ever had an experience where just a random stranger was really nice? Maybe they just said hello to you along the streets and they just seemed very nice and friendly, and it just kind of brightened your day because they were so nice. At the same time, have you ever had a not so nice experience with a stranger where they were maybe a bit nasty, a bit rude to you, and in that moment you just felt a little less awesome because of that experience? Well, every day, you and I, we are the strangers in hundreds, maybe even thousands of people's lives. We're just a face in the crowd for so many people. And if you're in a crowd, you get a general sense of the emotions of the people in that crowd. And normally it's somewhere along the lines of sort of a low-level annoyance. At least that's my perception of it. In a crowd, it's kind of people are trying to get to where they want to go and they're not really wanting to get distracted. It's like, oh, there's too much going on, I don't want. I'm just doing my thing. That's pretty much people in a crowd. And all those people in the crowd, as they're passing through, are collectively creating this atmosphere, this emotion that the crowd has. That's an everyday crowd. How about a crowd at a concert? A concert where everyone really wants to be there and they really love the people performing. How about that energy? How does that feel? And for that crowd to exist, you have to have individuals in the crowd. And all of us are part of the crowd, the human race crowd. And we all are creating the feel, the emotions, and the reality that we live in. Not just your own, but collectively in the entire world. That is the power of the crowd. Each and every single one of us choosing how we want to feel and how we want to be in the world creates how human beings, as a sum total, choose to feel and choose to be in the world. And all of us are influencing each other all the time. You ever have someone who's the life of the party? When they come in, everyone else is like, oh yeah, that person's here, and everyone's energy just goes up. Or you can have the person who comes in and everyone's energy goes down. I giggled there because I was just thinking of personal experience. But so that is the power we have, and it's important to acknowledge how important we are in this sense. And if you don't acknowledge this power, this importance, this role that you play, you are making way for things that you don't want to exist in the world. You're saying, well, what I do doesn't matter, when really it always matters. The power you have is in the choices you make, how you choose to be in the world, the emotions you feel, what you're expressing to other people. That is the influence. That never shuts off. It's happening all the time. Your actions, your thoughts, they always make an impact. There is no off switch. There isn't a moment where you are not influencing reality. You can't make yourself not matter. Your choices are always going to matter. So when you're making a choice and you're like, this choice doesn't matter, and you are going to be unconscious about it, remember, there is no off switch. You are always affecting how the world is. Let's say I am in a situation, right, where someone's bothering me there. I don't like them, okay? And I have a little bit of a thought that says, I want to say something mean, or I just want to be in a huff, or I'm going to tell one of my friends about this later, and I'm going to complain about this person and talk about how awful and nasty this person is to my friends. Then I remember, oh, if I choose to do that, that has an effect I not only am passing on this nasty ball of energy I have to all the people that I talk about this person about, like, oh, this person sucks, blah, blah, blah. If I do that, I'm passing on those nasty feelings to everyone I talk to. Not only that, but the people in my presence in that moment are gonna pick up on some of what I'm feeling. You ever been in a room with someone who's not feeling so great or feeling amazing? You pick up on that stuff. And those aren't even the only ways I'm influencing the world. In that moment, if I choose to talk about someone who I think is nasty and complain about them to other people, I am contributing to this entity called gossip, and I am making it exist. I am allowing gossip to exist when I gossip about someone. If I chose not to gossip and you chose not to gossip, and suddenly everyone in the world decided, you know what, I just don't want to gossip no more, and everyone decided to do that all at once, gossip would no longer exist at all in reality. It would just be gone. So that's how we contribute to the entirety of humanity and our realities. So now let's talk about how you choose to live your life. When you choose to accept your life as not fully lived, you don't feel completely fulfilled, you can sense that there are things in your life that you don't like, but you don't really bother to bring any consciousness to it. You're like, you know what, life kind of sucks sometimes. And you just accept that your life is kind of mediocre. You're like, oh, you know, it's okay, it's okay. And you just go, oh, I'm cool, I'm not going to do anything about the stuff that I don't feel so hot about. Then what does that do? That contributes to the existence of mediocre lives, the entity of mediocre lives. You're becoming part of that group, and this group that allows it to exist in reality. And if you're cool with that, if you're like, okay, I am fine with contributing to this entity called mediocre lives, and I'm fine with increasing the influence that mediocre lives as an entity has on human beings, then go ahead, you know, it's fine, that's your choice. But if that's something that's not okay with you, now you know that if you choose to live a mediocre life, you are contributing to that. That is what you are doing. When we accept things in our lives that we find unacceptable, not only are we making our own life less bright and joyful and fun, not only are we doing that, not only are we affecting the people in our lives who then experience us as less joyful, as less bright, and us, less us than we really are. Not only that, but we are contributing to creating that as an entity that exists. The not so hot life, mediocre life entity that will then influence people. Because it's easy to get influenced by that entity if everyone around you is part of it. If you're a person, just one person, surrounded all around you by people who just say to you, you know what, don't bother, just be happy with what you get. You know what, you're really lucky, be happy with what you got. And you know deep inside that, no, actually, I think we can do better. I think we can make this even more amazing. If you can feel that, it's not impossible, but it becomes harder to sustain that if everyone around you is just like, meh, nah, not really, don't think so. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. And so if you decide to join them in just going, okay, I guess since everyone is saying that it's too much effort, it's unrealistic to live fully and live completely as I know I can. You know deep down, you feel it, like I have this amazing life that I can make, but everyone's saying that it's unrealistic, so I'll just join them. And you make that entity stronger. It's just how it works. And the stronger it becomes, the more acceptable it becomes. If you look at certain things in the past that were acceptable, let's go really extreme. Slavery in the past, acceptable. But now, it's disgusting. We're like, that is completely unacceptable. And it's not that slavery doesn't exist at all in the world. Unfortunately, it does. But it's not something that is normal or acceptable. You hear about slavery and it's something disgusting, like how can this be happening? And no one wants to accept that stuff. And that is part of how we make changes, is we come to the realization that something that we just took for granted as normal is no longer acceptable. And I hope that through this video I can encourage you to look at your own life and look at the things that maybe you've gotten used to as acceptable and normal that aren't as good as they can be, and challenge yourself to find ways to bring out more of what you want in your own life. I want you to think about what the best version of your life looks like. Think about that and bring it forth into existence as much as possible, because if you are living into your best idea of what your life is, and more of us do that, then that becomes the new normal. And how cool would it be? How cool would it be? Imagine a world where it is normal for people to think about what their ideal life would be like, and then for people to create that. Imagine that as the normal for the world. How cool would that be? How exciting is that? I think that's just so cool. So that is how you influence the world. That is the effect that you have just by default. Not even trying to have an effect. That is your baseline effect on people around you. And I hope that brought you a little more awareness, and that you're thinking about how it is you're being in the world. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of it. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have something to say, we can chat in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you really should. I do these every week. So that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I will put the various links up here, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.